And then we get this jackass here at the end saying that science and religion will not be related. That's a good thing. Science is science, religion is religion. Just like, philosophy does its thing, and math does its thing, and English does its thing, and, history does its thing. They're all separate things. Do you want your religion dictated by science? Yeah, you don't pray over a test tube and hope that it works out and call it science. Anyone who is remotely sane should understand that the idea of praying over a test tube shouldn't happen in science. So if you agree with that, then you agree that religion should stay out of science. When science and your religion agree, great. When science and religion disagree, which side will you choose? Think about that one. So finally, all the way back from the beginning, we finally get to the point where we're going to discuss this idea of these people that he brought up that lost their jobs because they happened to mention intelligent design in some form or fashion. Except that they go to the Smithsonian and get kicked out. So then we go to George Mason University, and he says, we couldn't get him off his talking points, where he says that her contract ended, and that's why they got rid of her. Baylor University has the exact same thing. It had nothing to do with intelligent design. That's not why we got rid of him. So what is this issue? Is this disgruntled employees making up crap to try and offset the fact that they just weren't good enough to make the cut and stick around and keep their jobs? Or are they trying to cover it up? Well, Ben tries to play detective for a little bit and posts some of the some early messages that he had gotten his hands on. All it says in this email is, I have received several concerned messages this week about an interview and website dealing with evolutionary computing associated ID. Please disconnect this website immediately, and Cheryl will arrange a time for us to meet immediately upon my return. Doesn't sound like you're getting fired. It just sounds like, hey, wait a minute, I'm getting some people concerned about this. Take it down for now, let's go talk about it. So it doesn't sound like that's what he lost his job about. Maybe you're reaching a little bit here. And then they have the University of Iowa, who openly says, yes, we don't want this guy doing studies on our part for intelligent design. Meaning, don't take our money and spend it on something that we don't support. A school has the right to do so. It's called a curriculum. Stick to it. Or go teach somewhere else. Again, sure, Oral Roberts University, Liberty, BYU. There's plenty of places you can go that are Christian organizations that might even support you. Go to one of those if you feel like you just have to do this. Otherwise, stick to the program. That's what you're paid for. They then try to further their case against the University of Iowa by bringing up John Hopton, who had made comments about challenging religious idiots. They tried to connect this to Guillermo, who, but that wasn't the case. What he was talking about are the religious idiots. We all know who they are. Even religious people know who religious idiots are. Okay, so this isn't like some big surprise that they exist. We know the people that think that the world's coming to an end any minute now, and they hide under their tinfoil hat because God told them to. The lady who drowns her kids because God said to do it. All of that stuff. He says it himself. He's talking about these creationists that think that there was an ark that put 2 of every species on their 6,000-year-old Earth. Those people just need to be ignored because they don't have anything credible to bring to the table. And he's right. Science should not pay attention to those people until they can substantiate their claims. And if they can substantiate their claims, then that'd be great. Unfortunately for them, they can't. So the University of Iowa, are they wrong to tell this guy to cut it out? Was he wrong to keep pushing? And as Haltman says, he should have left it alone. He kept going and kept going after they said, look, we don't want to be associated with that. We pay your salary. You're not a scientist, you're a teacher. Teach the curriculum. No, he can't do that. Is it any surprise they would want to get rid of him? Really? And when you go back to these people, that's what you see in each of their cases. This guy Steinberg, okay, so he published an article. They didn't want it published. He did it anyway. Okay, well, your opinion doesn't, reign out over the group that decides what gets published in their magazine. You don't own the publication. Carolyn Crocker, who lost her job at Georgetown University, they don't want creationism mentioned in your slides. It's not part of the curriculum. Deal with it. So again, even if what you're saying is true, you're still wrong. Just like our buddy Sean, who lost his job because he was using company materials to publish CDs to hand out to customers. You didn't lose it because you're religious, Sean. They weren't persecuting your religious beliefs, Sean. They lost it because you broke company policy. And so did these people. So yeah, you lost your job. And rightfully so. But it wasn't because of intelligent design. It's because you broke the rules. Deal with it. And then that brings us to the interview with Richard Dawkins. I've already covered this before in a previous video, but let's just sum it all up right here. Stein asks, is there any way that you could prove an intelligent designer? This is an important question because if you're going to call yourself a science, you're going to be involved in science, you have to be able to substantiate your claims. You have to be able to prove it. So how could that be? Dawkins suggests that it could possibly be that there was, some other life form from another planet, and then you would have to find some kind of way to, discern that is, there's some sort of a signature in the process. He doesn't think that's what happened. He's saying that's something that could have happened, that you could do. Was Stein's response, wait a minute, Richard Dawkins supports intelligent design, just depending on who the designer is? Because again, it has nothing to do with God. Yeah, I know we just spent 45 minutes going through all that, but yeah. Another part that's extremely dishonest from Stein's thing is he tries to get Dawkins to place a number on how unlikely a God is. And he quickly says, it's hard to put a number on it. I couldn't really put a number on it. But he kind of pushes the issue to put a number on it. He says, I don't know, 99%? Why 99? Because you told me to pick a number. So I picked a number. It was just ridiculously dishonest. He said you can't really put a number on it. There's no way to really calculate this number and boil it down. But suffice it to say that when he says 99, it means severely unlikely. That's what he's trying to say. And that's obviously what he's trying to say. And you're trying to push it to mean something more. Just dishonest. Stein finishes out showing just how absolutely stupid he is by asking Dawkins, so the Hebrew God of the Old Testament, you don't believe in that, right? No. Okay. What about the New Testament? The Holy Trinity with Jesus? No. Okay. What about any Hindu gods? No. Okay. What about Thor? Okay. No. Okay. Zeus? Any of that? Dawkins repeatedly tells him, no, I do not believe in any gods. And he keeps going. How stupid are you if you didn't get the point the first time he said it? You already knew he was an atheist. Why are you even asking these questions? It's just, again, it's just a dishonest approach. So now Stein comes back to his original talking point of freedom of speech. Well, I've spoke out. Will anyone else take this up? Anyone? Yeah, let's not play on your past achievement of being a side note in the movie. But is freedom being challenged here? Yeah, freedom's being challenged. The freedom to be a real scientist who actually provides evidence, shows it, examines it, follows a procedure. That freedom to be legitimate. Because you want to instead instill your idea of science, your idea but we want to believe in God, and we don't like the idea of there not being a God, so therefore just let us have our God thing and your science thing, okay? It's not how it works. It's not how it's ever worked. It's not how it's going to work. You're just going to have to learn. We have the fossils, so we win. Don't take my word for it. Think for yourself. I'm going to need another one of these.